Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and I'm reading Batman, issue number 17. Guys, we're going to start off with Batman at the Fortress of Solitude. It's funny that he doesn't have the giant size key anymore. I actually really missed that. But anyway, Batman is there and he's got Nightwing and Red Hood and Damian all locked up inside this cryogenic stasis and says if they get out, then they're going to go after Bane. And that right there is kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, so this really was them that were hanging. Like Bane actually grabbed these guys and put them in the Batcave and left them hanging. That's insane. That is absolutely crazy. So what? Now we got Bane coming in and we got Amanda Waller who just came in not so recently. I mean, all these people just waltzing in and out of the Batcave. Didn't this place used to be secret? I mean, more people know the location of the Batcave than people who know Spider-Man's secret identity. Or maybe Batman from the How It Should Have Ended superhero cafe thing. Hey, want to know my secret identity? So Superman agrees to keep them safe because why wouldn't he? I mean, for crying out loud, they're best friends. So Alfred goes and brings Gotham Girl into Arkham Asylum, and he does it in a really cool, sneaky way. He's got a mask and sneaks in there, and he puts a gun up to Psycho Pyro's head and says, okay, make her brave. And it's cool. It's interesting. I like the idea that they didn't actually need the ventriloquist to take him out. I mean, as long as it's not Amanda Waller, Alfred will go up against anybody. So Gordon is quitting. That's what he's telling Barbara over the phone. No, not his daughter, his wife. And he's like, oh, I'm quitting, I'm out of here. So all of a sudden, Trog, Zombie, and Bird shows up. And that's kind of crazy because these three guys, if you don't recognize them, they're the guys who were in the original Batman versus Bane thing that came out a long time ago. The Vengeance of Bane, that was the original story where Bane went and took over Gotham by releasing all the Arkham Asylum inmates, like 30 of them, and just Batman had to scoop them up over 3 months' time and then wound up getting. You know what? I actually put out a Bane Explained in a Minute video. I highly recommend you go back and check that out. It's also cool that Trog, Zombie, and Birds is actually named after the bands of the same name, the Trogs, the Zombies, and the Birds. So they try to get the drop on Gordon, but Gordon's the man. He ain't having that. I mean, he was actually Mecha Suit Batman one time in another universe. So he beats the snot out of one of them. The other two are there like, oh, pose. But Batwing shows up, and he helps to wipe the floor with these guys. Well, just as they're getting ready to be all cool and whatnot, Bane comes crashing right through the wall and takes them both out. I mean, how sick is that? Comes right through the wall. So now Batman, who's been on stakeout by the clock tower for 3 hours now, he's up there chilling out, and all of a sudden Bane shows up and cracks open a glow stick, and he's like, ooh, check it out. I've got your buds. And like there's Catwoman who was captured earlier, and Bronze Tiger, and of course Gordon and Batwing. And that's how this ends. So now I'm going to give you my synopsis on this. Very incredibly awesome issue. The art, excellent. Like beyond expectations. And the Batman series has been drawn really well lately. And this, it's not even that this is no exception. No. This is exceptional amongst the exception. This is very incredible artwork. But the problems that I have with this particular issue is that Superman was right there. I mean, for crying out loud. Let's just wipe this whole thing out. I mean, the other problem I have is the idea that Batman is sitting in one place. I mean, world's greatest detective, and his idea to capture Bane is to set up a freaking stakeout? Who sets up a stakeout when you're the world's greatest detective? I've never heard of Sherlock Holmes setting up a stakeout. So I get the idea that Batman has been reined in like a lot, but not his intelligence, guys. Come on. I mean, I'm not cool with that, okay? You want to make him not as uber powerful and he can knock people out and I mean, like, before they got him and Nightwing going solo and taking out a Mazo, which, let's be realistic, that's not going to happen, all right? It was very cool in the movie, the animated movie. It was very cool, but, like, come on. No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in real life. So having this where you got, Batman is not as tough as he used to be, but now not as smart either. That's not cool. That's not, and it's going to get to the point where I'm going to say, get rid of this Batman and bring me back my Batman. And I don't like the idea that he would be quite so OP as he was before, but you can't detract from his intelligence. Batman is supposed to be the smartest man in the room, pretty much no matter where he goes. But this goes back to even before that, because even besides the idea of Batman kicking some serious butt in here, which I was really hoping because he's front and center, and they just took out some of my Robins. That's it. They're going down. Bane is going down. No, it didn't even have to come to that. Superman was in this issue For crying out loud, Superman could do what he always does, fly through Gotham. And I mean, come on, even if okay, Bruce, I promise I'm not going to go and kick some butt. By the time that Bruce got back to Gotham, Superman could have flown into Gotham, used his X-ray vision, flown all around the city. I mean, he's looked for, and he's found Lois how many times doing that? So many times. You can't count how many times he's done that in the comics. He could have flown back there, used X-ray vision, found Bane, the other goons, taken them out, put them in cryostasis up in the Fortress of Solitude, and then said, "Hey, Batman, don't worry, I gotta take you care of, buddy. But hey, you know what? I'll brand them for you." Sorry, another dig at BVS. But the idea is that Superman could have taken Bane out in a heartbeat, and that was one of my favorite scenes from the old Justice League animated series when Batman was, going up against Bane, and then he just trounced him, and it turns out it was actually Superman in the Batman suit. That was cool. I mean, we could have had that here, but no. Instead, we have this, and it didn't make sense. Look, guys, I don't like the idea that they're dumbing Batman down. You make him weak, I'm cool with that. You make him dumb, I'm out of the comic. So something had better change really, really quickly. I don't like the idea that Batman is being brought down to a level where I feel like I could take him in a fight. I mean, for crying out loud, and beat him in chess at the same time. I mean, I'd be surprised if the guy could chew bubblegum and walk at the same time in the way that they're actually treating this guy. Look, my nerd rage complaints to the side. Batman has to operate in a bubble. Okay, he can have his Bat family there. That's perfectly fine. The Bat family and the cat on the side, all right? Chasing down little penguins and jokers. That's cool. That's totally cool. But you can't have Superman in this comic at all. That right there, especially in the very beginning of it, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, he's meeting up with Superman in the Fortress of Solitude. He's going to say, "Did you go take care of my light work?" Which, I mean, it's all light work to Superman. The idea that Superman was even in this issue immediately took away from the suspension of disbelief that Bane is a credible threat, because Superman could have taken this guy out in a heartbeat, maybe 2 heartbeats. He's not as fast as the Flash. But come on, I was so disappointed that Tom King decided to put Superman in this. It was completely unnecessary, and it actually detracted from the comic book for me. I'm giving this comic a B-. This is the lowest grade I've given a Batman comic for a while. I know I got some super fans out there, I should say some Bat fans, and I'm sorry, please understand the reason why I'm doing this. It's my love of Batman that's causing me to give this Batman comic, Batman issue number 17, such a low grade. I'm very disappointed that, this is one of those cardinal mistakes, especially if Superman doesn't come by and save the day, I guess, which would even more take away from just the idea that he put Superman in this. In my mind now, this entire storyline is a hot mess. I'm very disappointed. There's absolutely no reason for Batman to have to prove himself against Bane or anything like that. It's silly. It's beyond belief, kind of borderline ridiculous. So that's my opinion on the comic, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.